Hello guys, I'll be telling you about the core modules of Fedena today. The core modules are the basic functionalities that we find in Fedena. So before starting with the basic functionalities, let us see who all can log in into Fedena. So that would be the admin who has all the control over Fedena. He'll be admitting the employees, he'll be admitting the students and the parents of the students. And they will have a separate login. For the first time, I need to enter as an admin in Fedena and do all the configuration. So I'll use the username as admin and I'll use the password as admin123 and I'll log in. After logging in, the first screen that I see is known as the dashboard of the admin. So you will see that here the boxes, they are giving me some information about the institute as per the data entry that I've done in Fedena. So who all employees are on leave today, I can see. I can see the fees due, examinations and so on. And they can be managed from here. So what all information I would like to see on my home screen, I can check them from here and I can uncheck the other ones. And the first thing that I have to do as an admin is go to administration and do some settings. So the general settings for the first time. And here I have to tell Fedena about my school or college or university or academy. So I'll give the name, address, phone number. Attendance time can be daily, which is once in a day, or subject wise. So based on the number of subjects that you have in a day. Financial year start and end date is the fiscal year of the institute. Now there is a finance module in Fedena where you can generate receipts for the fee that you collect. The starting receipt number can be mentioned here, and for the subsequent receipts that you generate, this number will get auto incremented. So if I'm collecting fees for first student, I'll get the receipt number as LC01. For the second one, LC02 and so on. So all this data that I've already entered is editable. So you have to enter your own data as per your requirement. Language, time zone, country and currency type will depend on the location of the institute. Precision count is the number of digits that we want to see after decimal in the financial reports in Fedena. We can upload the logo. The grading system, so these are the 4 kind of grading systems that are supported by Fedena: ICSE, CCE, which is followed by CBSE, CWA, which is course weighted average, and grade point average. So as per the courses and as per what grading system are they following, we can check them or uncheck them from here. If your school or college follows a normal grading system, meaning that you work with averages and percentages, in that case, do not select anything here. So that would mean normal grading system. Then you have enable auto increment of student and employee admission number. So these 2 options here. It means for the first time you will have to give an admission number to the student, and for the subsequent students it will get auto incremented. Similarly for the employee. So if you want that option, you can check them. Then we have a news module in Fedena where anyone can comment. If you want that the comments should be approved before you can see them, you can check this. So they will go for approval by the admin. Then we have enable sibling, where we can relate brothers and sisters in Fedena. So while I'm entering a student, it will ask me to relate him to another student who is already present in Fedena. I can skip that option or I can relate him to another student. Then we have enable password change at first time login. So as I told, students and employees will be admitted by the admin. And we'll be giving admission number and employee number respectively to the students and the employees. And by default, they'll get the password as their admission number followed by 123. So if we want to give them an option to change the password, if they are logging in for the first time, we can check this. So once these settings are done, the next step is managing courses and batches. So this is a very important part where we can create courses. So if you are a school, the courses would be something like grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 and so on. So these are the ones that I've already created. Another nomenclature would be class 1, class 2, class 3 and so on. Or standard 1, standard 2 and so on. So these will be the name of the courses in case you are a school. In case you are a university or a college, the name of the course will be Diploma in Computer Science Engineering Semester 1. Diploma in CSE Semester 2 and so on. So let me show you how we can create courses for a school. So if I'm a school, I'll be giving the name as, let's say, class 3 or standard 3. Section name has to be left blank in case you are a school. Whereas if you are a university, you will be giving like, this is the name of the course and this is the semester. So semesters will be mentioned in sections. That is why in case of schools, section name has to be left blank. Code is the short form of that course. Grading system, as per the selections that you've done in general settings, options will be appearing here and you can check the ones that is followed by this course. If you want the students to be able to select their own subject in this grade, you can check this option. So the students will get an option to select their own subjects. Then the initial batch details. So batch is a group of students that I have under class 3. So A is one such section or one such batch. I can have one more, B 2015-16. So I'll be able to add that. This is the initial batch details. I can add one or more batches under this class or standard. And this is the start and end date of this course. So the academic year of this course. So the class is created and when I click on it, you will see that it has A 2015-16 which is prefixed by the course code. The reason is because I can have A 2015-16 again as another batch in another course. So to uniquely define it, it is prefixed by the code of the course which has to be unique. So this way I have created many courses here, both for universities and schools. And now in these batches we have to put subjects. So this is the next step, manage subject. So I'll be selecting the batch here. And for this batch, I can add normal subjects, which are the mandatory subjects that all the students of this class has to study. Or I can have elective subjects, which are the optional subjects. So let me show you how we can enter them. Let me add a normal subject called mathematics. This is the code of the course subject. And this is the maximum periods of mathematics that is going to happen in a week. So as per your timetable structure, you can mention the maximum weekly periods. And if there is no exam that you want to conduct for this subject, you can check this option. And in the examination module, we will not be able to create the exam for this subject in that case. Then we have another course which we have like English, and here we can give the code as well. timetable structure that you have. Then we have the electives. So elective are the optional subjects. So here I'll be clicking on new elective group and I'll have to give the name of the elective group. So let's say it is languages, and inside the selective group I'll be able to create subjects. So these are the optional subjects, the subjects for which I want to give option to the students to be able to select from. Again, they have the same structure, so I have to give the maximum classes in a week, and if we have an exam for this subject or not. So I have created 2 optional subjects, and as an admin I can assign students, or if I have checked that option of enable elective selection while creating this course, the students will be able to assign themselves from their profile. So this is the way in which we can add subjects. The next step is to manage the student category. Now, as per the discounts or the concessions that you want to give to the students, in the fee section, you can create their categories. For example, I can put some students in a category called staff child, which I have created. And in the fee section, I'll be able to give discount to the staff children. Similarly, I can put some students in this category, sibling and institution, and again, I can give some discounts or concessions on their fees. And like this, I have created few other categories here: financially weak student, alumni referred, and so on. So as per the criteria using which I want to give discount, I will be creating categories here. And the next step is to add admission additional details. So these are the custom fields that you want to see in the admission form, and against them you will be able to take data from the students. For example, I've created a custom field called passport. So passport is the name of the field, and how should the admin be able to enter data in this? So as a text box, text area, drop down, or check boxes. So these are the fields that I've created, and in the admission form, these fields will be asked for data. The next module, or the last module for which we have to do the setting before starting admitting the students, is the SMS module. So for the first time, you have to configure SMS settings by going to accounts.fedena.com, for which you will have the username and the password. When you log in using that, and when you go to company, so I'm using my demo account here. When I go to company here, under this, I'll be able to see SMS. And I have to do these settings. For the first time, they will be empty for you. So you have to purchase an account with a third-party SMS provider in your country, and you have to fill in these fields. So once you've filled in these fields as per the account that is given by the third-party SMS provider, you have to come to SMS settings and enable it for the application. So for the first time, it will look like this. I'll check this and update, meaning that I want to start using SMS sending from Fedena. So I'll update this here. And here you will see that all these options will appear. So for the first 4 options that you see, automatic SMS is sent. So whenever a student is admitted, whenever exam is scheduled or result is published, whenever a student is absent, or whenever an event is created in Fedena, automatic SMS will be sent. And for the last three options that you see there, you will be able to send SMS manually. So once you have done these settings, you will get these links here, using which you will be able to send SMS manually. For example, send SMS to students. I'll be able to select the batch, and the students of the batch will appear. And here I'll be able to check the students who have mobile in their profile. And I'll be able to type the message and send them the message. Similarly, I can do it for the full batch. I can do it for the employees. I can do it for department of the employee. And I can send SMS to all the employees. So this is like broadcasting a message. Then we have SMS log, where I can see what was the message that was sent and on what time. So this is the log that will be shown. So once we have done these settings, the next step is to admit the student. So I'll go to Academics, Student, Student Admission. And here, for the first time, admission number will be empty. So this admission number you can enter as per your requirement. And if you have enabled auto increment of admission number, for the subsequent students that you enter, this admission number will come auto incremented. So that is why when I'm opening this form for the first time, you will see that it is already coming with some values because I've already entered some students. So I have the admission date here and the first name. So I'm entering some data here. And I can put this student in a course that I've already created. So C3, class 3, and this group of student or batch. Then I can select the category. So I can put him in an appropriate category. So in the fees, I can give him discount. And since I've checked enable sibling option, I'm getting this option here to select the sibling of this student. Now if you already have a student, you can search by the first three letters of the name of that student and it will come here. You can click on it and it will be selected as a sibling of this student. In case you are entering the student for the first time, you can skip this step because there is no other student to relate to, and you can enter the parent details of this student. So I'm entering the parent details and I can enter the relation and the other details as well. I can enter more than one guardian as well. So I can click on add another guardian and I can enter the guardians. And one of the guardians will have a login and password to Fedena. So that has to be selected from here. Since I only have one, so it is giving me this option. And then I can enter the previous institute educational details here. So if a student is coming from grade 3 to grade 4, the school or the institute in which he was studying earlier, those details can be entered here. And these are the additional details. So these are the additional details that we have. So as per what we have, the custom fields that we have created, these options are coming. And once we have done this, the profile of the student will get created like this. And this student will be able to log in using S009. So I'm going to log in using that now, S009, and by default the password is S009-123. And since I'm logging in for the first time, I'm getting this option to change the password. So you can see as a student, I can view my profile from here. And the parent of the student will have this as the username. So I log in as a parent now. So here I'll be able to log in as a parent, and since I'm logging in for the first time, I'll be able to change the password. So this is how the student and the parent will get login after the admin has admitted them. So this is how we can enter the students in Fedena. And then we have this option of getting reports related to students. So we'll go to students here under academics, and we'll go to student details. And here we'll click on advanced. So this option will come here. And here I'll be able to select some filters, and based on these filters I'll be getting the report of the students. For example, I want to see the students who belong to staff child as a category. So when I search it, I'll be getting all the students who belong to staff child category. I can also filter them by batch from the previous form. So this is how you can get some reports by some criteria. Now the next step that we have to do is do the human resource settings. So HR settings under administration. So HR is related to employees, managing them, managing their leaves, payslip of the employees. So let's see these. The first thing is the setting. So we'll be doing some settings here. So add employee category is the first setting that we should be doing. So categorizing the employees based on whether they are teaching staff, non-teaching staff, whether they are housekeeping, security, wardens, and so on. So I've created teaching as one such category. So to create a category, I'll be giving here like teaching staff as the name, some prefix, and status means whether it will be appearing in the admission form of the employee or not. So will I be able to put an employee in this category? So it's an active category. So this way I have to categorize the employees into some categories, and this is an important step because in the admission field of the employee, category is a mandatory field. I have to put an employee in a category while admitting him. You can also create only two categories like teaching staff, one category, another category non-teaching staff. Then we have the position. Again, this is an important and a mandatory step. So every category is going to have a position. So for example, I'll be selecting the category that I just created, which was teaching. And I want to create a position inside this category. So junior teaching. So junior teachers, I'm going to put in this position. Junior. I can have professor as another category in teaching, as another position in teaching category. I can have lecturer. as another position in teaching category, and so on. So in each of the categories that you've created, you have to create some position. Again, it's a mandatory field in the employee admission form. We have to put an employee in a position while admitting him. And the third mandatory field is add employee department. So department of the employee can be based on the subjects that we have in the school or the college. So for example, I've created here English department. If a teacher is teaching more than one subject, in that case you can create a general department, for example, academics, sports, and so on. Otherwise, you can categorize them based on the departments like this. You can create subject-based departments. And again, it is a mandatory field in the employee admission form. The next step is the employee grade. Grade of the employee denotes the level of the employee in the institute. For example, I'll be filling in these fields like this. So grade 1, this is the field, this is the grade that I'm creating. Grade 1 employee can take maximum 1 period in a day and maximum 4 periods in a week. So this means that grade 1 employee should be working for 1 hour in a day and 4 hours in a week. And while admitting the employee, I'll be able to assign him into a grade. And after timetable creation in Fedena, we can see how many hours is he lacking, or he should be working, or he's overworking. So we'll be able to see the work allotment of each teacher after we have created their timetable, and that is the use of grades. So like grade 1, I've created another grade, grade 2. Maximum periods in a day is 2. And maximum periods in a week that grade 2 employees should be taking is 6. So as per your requirement, you can give these figures here. And priority field denotes the authority level of the employee in the institute. Meaning that grade 1 employee is more senior to grade 2 employee. So accordingly, you can decide the maximum periods per day and per week. So like this, I've created few grades here, and I'll be asked to select one of the grades when I'm admitting an employee. Then we have the payroll category. So payroll category are the earnings and the deductions that you see in the payslip of the employee. Again, these are custom created. They are created by me, so they are appearing. To create them, you have to give the category name as, so let me show you for one. So let's say there's a category called basic salary, which is an independent component in the payslip of the employee. So I'll not be mentioning anything in percentage or percentage of. I'll be leaving it blank. And since this is an earning in the payslip, I'll not be checking this. So like this, I have created DNS allowance, which is another kind of a category, which is a dependent component. So let's say it's a dependent component and it is 8% of basic salary. So on what is it dependent? I'll be selecting here, and by what factor it is dependent, I'll be writing here. And again, it's an earning, so I'll not be checking this. Let me show you a deduction as well. So it is similar, the only difference is I'm checking this option of is deduction here. So this is how we have to create the payroll categories, the earnings and the deductions that we want to see for the employee. And when I'm admitting the employee, it is going to ask me the figures against these categories for that particular employee. So we'll see that. Then the bank details can be added. So again, if you want to take the account number, bank name, branch, and so on. So the bank related details of the employee. You can create those fields here like I've created. Account number is a field that I'm creating, a custom field that will be asked in the admission form now. And the last one, add additional details. It is similar to what we did for the student. We are creating custom fields and values against these fields will be asked in the admission form. So these are the settings that have to be done. After doing these settings, we have to go to employee management and employee admission to admit the employee. So this is the admission form that I'll get. Employee number, for the first time if we're admitting the employee, it will come like this, E1. Since I already have a lot of employees, 75 employees, so it is auto incremented and shown as E76. So I'll be entering other data here. So I'm just filling in the mandatory fields as of now. So you can see it is asking for the department, category and position. So I'll be selecting the department. So let's say this employee is a mathematics teacher. So I'll be putting him in the category teaching, position as junior teacher. So that is why these three settings were mandatory. And then if this employee, what I'm entering is a teacher, I can assign him a grade based on the number of periods I want this employee to work in a day and in a week. I can enter the other fields as well here. So the next step it is asking is for the addresses of the employee. So here, addresses and contact details can be entered for reference at a later point. Then we have the bank details. So as per the fields that I created, it is asking the data against those fields. And of course, the additional details. So like we had for the student, it is asking the details as per the custom fields that we have created. Now this is important. It shows the privileges that the employee should be assigned to. So as per the role of this employee in the institute, I can assign privilege to this employee. Meaning that, let's say this employee is a teacher and this teacher should be able to mark attendance. So I'll be checking this privilege for this employee, student attendance register. So when this employee logs in, she will get a link where she can mark student attendance. For example, for the admin, I have all the links here, all the functionalities that I see. Whereas for this employee, as per the selection that I'm doing here, only those particular links will appear. So after assigning the privilege, the next step is to assign the manager to the employee. So manager is a supervisor of the employee who will be taking care of leave approvals for the employee. So manager has to be entered before entering teachers or employees in Fedena. So I already have a manager. So let's say this is the manager. And after assigning the manager, we have the payroll category details that have to be entered for this employee what I am entering. So let's say this is the basic salary, which was an independent component. And when I click outside, you will see that the dependent components automatically get filled in as per the dependency. And If there is a component that is not applicable to this employee, we can mention 0 here, and later on in the payslip, when we generate the payslip, these fields, these categories will not at all be shown for this employee. And the employee will be created like this. So this is the profile of the employee, and this employee will be able to log in using E76 and E76 123. And again, since he is logging in for the first time, he has to change the password. And you will see that unlike admin, he has lesser links. Because we have assigned only one privilege to the employee, which is attendance, so he is getting this option of to be able to take attendance of the student. So as per the privilege that you assign, the employee will get that link and he'll be able to do that functionality. So after admitting employee, the next step is to associate the employee with the subject in a batch. So this is for the teachers of the institute. So I'll be selecting the batch and I'll be selecting the subject. So for this subject, which teacher do I want to assign? So I'll select the department and the teachers of that department will get here. And I can click on assign to assign the teacher who's going to take English subject in this batch. I can assign more than one teacher by clicking like this. So this has to be done for all the subjects that you see here. So like this. So this has to be done for all the batches that you have and for all the subjects of that batch. This will help us later on in timetable slot creation. So once we've associated the employees with the subjects, we'll do some leave settings for the employees so that the employees will be able to take leaves from their profile. So I'll add the leave types. So here the leave name has to be given. For example, sick leave, we can give a code of that leave. The maximum sick leaves that can be taken. And do you want to enable carry forward? Meaning that if an employee is taking a part of these leaves, should the rest of the leaves be carried forward to the next duration? And the duration within which these 3 leaves are applicable has to be mentioned by going to reset leaves link and here leave reset settings. So here is where we mention the period. So the 3 sick leaves that we created are applicable for a period of 4 months. So you can change it here as per the requirement beginning this date. And if you want to enable carry forward, meaning that if you want the employee to again get the maximum count of the leave after these 4 months are over, you can check this option in that case. Otherwise, you can manually reset by going to reset all. So it will reset for all the employees on the day on which you are doing it. Department reset. So here you will be selecting the department and for all these employees you can reset or you can check or uncheck for the ones you want to, and individual reset. So you can find the employee and you can reset for this employee as well. So this is manually resetting. Now the employee will be able to apply for leave. So let me log in as the employee now and show you how employee can apply for leave. So the employee will get this option under academics of leaves. So this is where the leave application form will appear. I select the leave as per created by the admin, so I'm getting those options. I can mark it a half day, meaning 0.5 of the leave would be deducted. I can mention the duration, so I want it for today and tomorrow, and what is the reason. So let's say this is the reason. So now the leave application is created, and the manager of this employee who has applied for leave will be able to approve the leave. So I log in as this manager now. So here I'll be logging in as the manager, and I'll get a notification in the dashlet itself. So if you see, this is the dashlet of leave application. Here I'll be clicking and I'll be able to see the leave application like this. And I can approve it or deny it. So let's say I'm approving it. I'll be asked to give some remarks. And after approval, as an admin, I can see the attendance register of the employees. So if I go to HR under administration, employee leave management, I have attendance register. And here I'll be selecting the department. And for this department, all the employees that I have will appear along with the register. And here, the thing to note is that whenever you see a blank cell, it denotes that the employee is present. If you want to mark that employee absent, it will be denoted by this sign. So you can see for this employee who applied for leave and the leave got approved, it is denoted by this sign. So this is done for the employees who had applied for leave and got it approved. But in case an employee was not able to apply for leave because of some reasons, admin can mark the leave on his behalf. For example, this employee, he will not be able to join in today. So I can click on this highlighted cell, which is for today, and I can mark the leave on his behalf. So it will be denoted by the same sign. Leaves can be marked for previous date, present date, or a future date for the employees. We can see the attendance report here for a particular department or for all the departments together. So here it shows all the employees, and these are the leave code, the code of the leave that I've given: casual, paternity, maternity, and so on, sick leave. So we can see what is the count of leave that each employee has taken. We can get it in a CSV or a PDF report as well. So this is about managing the leaves. Then we have the generation of payslip. It can be done in two ways. The one way in which we can do it is in one click. So for this month that I have here, which is the salary date, I can create the payslip as per the figures that I've entered while admitting the employee. So while admitting the employee, I had given the payroll category details. So it will take those details and create the payslip of all the employees. And if we do not want to do this, we can select the employee by going to this link, select the department, and we can do it for each employee here. So I'll be selecting the employee. And again, it will ask for the salary date, which can be this month's date or a future month's date. And these are the details what were entered while admitting the employee, which can be edited now. We can also have individual categories for this employee. For example, loss of pay. I can mention the amount here. And it's a deduction. I can also have another category, let's say bonus, which is an earning. So these are the categories that I'm creating particular to this employee only. So the payslip of this employee will be created for the month of February. Now, this job of creating the payslips or the generation of payslip has to be done by a member who is given payslip powers privilege. So you can give that privilege to one of the employees and he can create or generate the payslips. And the other employee who is given finance privilege, payslip approval privilege in finance, he will get this link here of payslip. And again, he can approve all the payslips in one click, or he can select the payslip for a particular month like this, and he'll be able to see the pending payslips here, along with the approved ones, of course. There are few payslips that I've already approved, so they are coming here. And when he clicks on view, he'll be able to see the details. And this can either be approved or rejected. So if I reject it, I can give an appropriate comment here. And the same comment will be going to the member of HR to create the payslip again. So the member of HR will be able to see it in rejected employee. And I'll be able to see the employee, select the month and edit the payslip as per the requirement. So I can edit the payslip and I can again generate it. Now it can be approved. So here I'll view it and I can approve it. Once the payslip is approved, the employee for whom the payslip is approved will be able to see the same in his profile under payslip link. So he'll be able to see the same payslip that was approved, and he can take a PDF report of it as well. Then we can see a report for a particular month, which all payslips are approved, pending, what is the total salary, what is the approved salary, and total number of employees. So this is about human resource module. The next module that I'll be telling you about is attendance of the student. How we can mark the attendance of the student. That is by going to academics and attendance. And here we have attendance register. Now if I am assigned as a tutor of a batch, I'll be able to see only my batch coming here. So not all the batches, but since I've logged in as an admin, I have all the privileges. So I'll be able to select any batch here. So let's say I'm selecting this batch. And the students will appear like this, along with the register. So this is similar to what we had for employee. Again, here also, wherever you see a blank cell, that denotes the student is present. If I want to mark a student absent, I have to click on that cell, give a reason, and denote whether the student is absent for full duration or half of the day from here. And it will be denoted by that sign. The difference is, first of all, students cannot apply for leaves, and secondly, you will be able to mark student absent for a previous day or today and not for future date. So in the future days, I'm not getting an option to click them. Now in case there are a lot of students and you're using the application inside the class, then you can check this option of rapid attendance. So when you check it, it will not be asking you for the reason when you're marking somebody absent. So you can see it is just denoting by that sign. Later on, you can click on it and fill in the reason as well. So for example here, I can fill in the reason later on. I can see the report. Two kinds of reports are there. So let's see the first report for a particular batch for a particular duration. So it can be monthly or overall. And it shows the total number of working days since the start of the batch, the students, and how many working days they have attended, and hence the percentage. I can filter it here. So I want to see the students who have 90 and above. So I can say like this, and I can filter the report. So I'll get that list, for which I can get a PDF or a CSV again. Other kind of report we have is day-wise attendance report. So for a particular day, I can see the overall strength in the institute. So I have 106 students, out of which 104 are present. And for each batch here, I'll be able to see the absentees, the number of absentees. So you can see for this batch, I have 2 absentees. When I click on it, I'll be able to see the further details. So this is about the student attendance. The next module that we're going to see is timetable. So we can create weekdays, we can set weekdays as per the number of working days the institute is working. So I can check them from here. If it is different for a course, I can also make it different for a course. The second step is setting the class timings. So class timing set has to be created. For example, this is a class timing set. So period 1, period 2, period 3, period 4 and so on. So what is the start time, end time of each period has to be mentioned. To create a class timing set, you have to click on new, give the name. For example, I can give class timing for class 3. So it can be common to all the batches, it can be different. We can assign the batches to this class timing set. So that way we can denote whether it is a common class timing set or for a specific course. So this is how it will appear. And I'll click in front of it, class timings, and click on add. And here is where I'll be mentioning the period. So period 1, it starts from 9 in the morning. So I can set the timings here to 10. I can have another period and again mention the timing for it. If there is a break that we have, that can also be mentioned by checking this option and giving the duration. So this is how we have to create the class timings. After creating the class timings, we need to assign the class timings to the batch. So we'll go to manage class timing sets, select the one that we just created, select the batches from here who are going to follow it. So let's say this is the batch which is going to follow it. So I can select more than one batches here by checking like this. I can select all the batches from here if it is a common class timing set. So right now I'm selecting one batch and click on this arrow to denote that this batch follows this class timing set. So after we have done this, let's see what is work allotment. So work allotment is similar to what we did in employee subject association. So in employee subject association, for a particular subject, we were assigning a teacher. So here also all the batches are appearing and all the subjects are appearing. And for each subject, as per the employee subject association, if I've assigned the teachers, they are appearing. Otherwise, I can assign them from here as well. So this is another easier way of doing it. You can assign the teachers from here. And on the right hand side, you can see the work allotment of the employee as per the grade and as per the subjects that the employee is assigned. OK means the employee is assigned the exact number of classes as per what was in his grade. Remaining means the employee can take 4 more periods. Deficit means the employee is taking 4 more periods, so is overworking. So as per the maximum periods in the grade of the employee and the maximum weekly classes of the subject to which the employee is assigned, this appears here. So this is how the number of periods of the employee can be tracked. Then we can create the timetable. So this is the academic year of the institute. So we have to give the start date and end date. And all the batches timetable will be created in this duration. So for now I'm just giving a shorter duration. So let's say it is from, it should not overlap, the timetable should not be overlapping. Let me give another duration. So after this timetable is created, we'll be selecting the batch, and as per the class timing set that I've assigned, the time slots will appear here. So if I've created another class timing set for another batch, the class timing will appear like this. Now this timetable has to be filled in. So we'll be selecting the subject and the associated teacher will appear. For example, for this subject, I have assigned one teacher, it will appear. And when in the slots that I want mathematics to happen, I'll be clicking on the slots. So I'm just clicking on the slots and it gets highlighted, and I'll be dragging and dropping this employee in one of the slots and it'll get replicated in the other one. Similarly, I'll do it for another subject. So the 2 periods are taken by Alice and the other 2 periods are taken by Silk. So this can also be done. And in case it exceeds the maximum weekly classes that you have given for a period, for a subject, it will show you a warning here that you are trying to allocate more than what was assigned for the subject. So those classes are maintained. And I can take a printout of this timetable by going to view timetable, and for that particular duration, for that particular batch, I can get a PDF. This timetable will also be available in the teacher's profile. So the teacher can also see what is the timetable that is applicable to her. Even the student will be able to see for a particular date which is the classroom that they have to go to, which is the building, what is the timings, what is the teacher who is going to teach it, and what is the subject. So all these details will be coming inside the profile of the student and the teacher. We can view the timetable, teacher timetable from here. So for a particular duration, I can see what all teachers are available at what time and busy at what time for the full academic year duration. Because this Monday to Friday will be repeated for the full duration of the academic year. Institutional timetable will show what all classes are there for today. So if I have created timetables for all the batches, it will come here. Like for today, for this batch, I have a timetable. So this is the institute's timetable. I can see it for this date. I can scroll it to see it for next day or a previous day as well. Then we have timetable tracker, where we can substitute a teacher who will not be able to take a period because of some reason, but she was scheduled to take the period. So I'll go to swap timetable, select the batch and the date in which I want to substitute, and let's say this is the teacher who will not be able to take this timetable, this subject, so she can be changed to another teacher for the same department or a different department. So I can assign this teacher now for the same subject. And all these changes, ad hoc changes that I do, will be available in swapped timetable report for a particular duration. So one hyphen denotes that the employee has taken one less period as per his work allotment. One plus denotes he has taken one more as per his work allotment, because these are last minute changes. So these changes are shown here. Then we have the classroom allocation, where we can create buildings first by clicking on add building. It will ask for the name of the building, and inside this building I'll be able to create rooms. So I'll click on add rooms. It will ask for the capacity of the room and the name. So in this block I have created 5 rooms like this, and now I can allocate batches to the classrooms. So I click on weekly and select here the academic year duration, and it will appear like this as per the timetable entries that you have done for this duration. And I'll select the building, so west block, the 5 rooms will appear. And for this mathematics subject, in which classroom is it going to happen, I'll drag it and drop it on that period. So I have to do this for all the days till Friday, till the weekdays that I've set. And this will be repeated for the full duration of the academic year. So on all the Mondays, the class will happen at the assignment, for all the Tuesdays, Wednesdays and so on, for the full duration of the academic year. So this is about the timetable module. The next module that we'll be looking at is examination. So here we have to do some settings. So the first one is setting the grading levels. So we can set the grades, for example here, grade A 95 and above, and so on. I've set some grades. I can also add grades like this. So I can give the name of the grade and so on. This is common to all the courses that I have. If you have different grade sets which are applicable to different courses, I can select the grade set here like this. And I'll be able to edit the grades or add grades specific to this course. So now for this course, if I create an exam, these are the grades that will be considered and not the common ones. So once I've set the grading levels, I can set the ranking levels now. Ranking level would denote the criteria based on which you want to see a report later on. For example, I've created a ranking level called top performer. So in kindergarten 1, or in this course that I've selected, the students who have minimum 95% marks in at least 4 subjects will be categorized as top performers of kindergarten 1. Let me show you one more here. So the students who have minimum 85% marks in at least 2 subjects will be categorized as high performers. So the limit type can be lower, which denotes minimum, upper, maximum, or exact, the exact number that you mention here. Similarly for the subject as well. So as per the criteria that you want to have here, you can give it an appropriate name, and later on in the examination section, we will be able to see the report for such kind of ranking levels. Similar is class designation, but with the difference that we do not have to mention the number of subjects here along with the limits. So meaning that in this course, first class students will be the students who have overall 90% marks and above. So here it is automatically the minimum limit. Similarly, I have created another. So second class students will have 80 and above overall. So once we are done with the settings, we can go to exam management and select a course for which I want to create the exam. Now the examinations would be the terms that you have for a particular course. For example, let's say for this grade class 3, I have 2 terms. So I'll be creating term 1 right now. And in the report card, what I want to see, is it only marks, only grades, or marks and grades that can be selected? Maximum marks are 100, 0, it can be changed. And you will see that the subjects will automatically appear as per the batch for which you are creating the exam. And now here I am scheduling the test for term 1 for all the subjects. So I am saying the start time, so it is today from 10:35 to let's say 11:35. So I am selecting the time here. Similarly, I can do it for another subjects as well. Once I have created this term, I will be able to publish the exam schedule so that the students can see the same in their profile. So the concerned students will be able to see, first of all, they'll get an SMS notification if it is enabled, and secondly, they'll be able to see the same in the calendar. So after publishing, if I log in as a student, let's say I've logged in as a student now, I'll go to academics, calendar. And I can see that for today, if I hover over this, I'll be able to see the examinations for today. This is coming because I've published the exam. And now let's say the students have written these 2 exams. Now as a teacher, when I log into Fedena, I'll be getting under exam management, I'll be getting the same exam. I'll click on it. I'll only be getting my own subject. So if I'm a mathematics teacher of class 3A 2015-16, I'll only get mathematics. I'll click on it and I'll get all the students listed here. Since I have only one student, so only one is coming. Otherwise, all the students will get listed here and I can enter the marks along with the remarks for this student. And it will appear in the profile, in the report card of the student then. Grade also changes as per the set grading level setting that you have done. So this has to be done for all the students that are listed here, and this has to be done by the teachers of each subject of that particular batch. Once they have done this, as an admin, I can publish the exam result so that the students can see the same in their profile. So students will have a reports section where after publishing they can see that what is the exam score that they have obtained. So this way I can create many terms here. So let me show you for another batch for which I have created number of terms. So let's say for this batch that I have created 5 terms here, so unit tests and terms, and I can connect these to be able to see the proper report of the exam. So let's say all these terms for this batch has happened. So I'll go to connect exams, and the terms that I want to consider for the final marking, I'll be able to give weightage to them, which has to be, the total has to be 100. So I can give to all of them as well as per the requirement of the institute, or to 2 or 3 or as many, more than one term. I can also give the full weightage to one term as 100. So that is also possible. So once I've connected the exams and put the weightage to 100, I'll be able to see the reports by generating them. So first I'll go to generate reports, select the course for which I want to generate. So I want to generate for this course. I'll click on generate. So as per the weightages that I've assigned, the maximum marks, minimum marks, so it will calculate everything and create reports. And the same can be seen under Report Center. So we have 12 kind of reports that are available for normal and CWA based grading system. For ICSE and CCE, there are separate settings that we have to do. So here let me show you some reports. We have exam wise report. So let's select a batch. So it was this batch, and these are the terms that are appearing. So it will appear like this. So it shows the student, the subjects, the marks obtained, the remarks, and how much is the student deviating from the class average as well. We can enter the remarks here. So these are the common remarks which will be appearing in the profile, sorry, in the PDF report as well when we generate it from here. It can be seen from all the students of this batch like this. Let me show you another report that we have. That is a subject wise. So for a particular batch, I can see for a particular subject the details like science. So it shows like this. So students, all the terms, the marks obtained. Grouped exam report will show for a particular batch like this. So the combination. Since I have connected only two exams, term 1 and term 2, 30 and 70, according to that it is showing the combined percentage. So this way we have other reports as well. So this is about the examination. So let us see what all are the other modules that we are left with. So let's start with academics. So calendar, this is where we can see the examinations that are scheduled. The fees that is due, the events that we create. To create an event, you can click on the particular cell, add. So you can see an option is coming here, add. I can click on it and it will take me to this screen where I have to give the title of the event, description, and I can also mark an event as a holiday. So attendance for that day will be disabled in Fedena. If that event is common to all, I can check this option. Otherwise, I can click on create event, and on the next screen, I'll be asked to select the batch and the department of the employees to whom it is applicable. This is one way in which we can create the event. Another way is event creation itself. So under collaboration, we have event creation. We get the same screen. So let's say I want to create an event, holiday. As per the academic calendar, I want to declare it as a holiday so that attendance is not counted. I can check this option is a holiday. I can make this event common to all and I can create it. Once I create it and confirm it, it will be appearing in the calendar. So the calendar automatically comes up and you can see it shows. So since I've selected the date as today, so it shows for today itself. remarks module. So we can add the custom remarks. So as a tutor of a batch or as a teacher of a subject of a batch, I will be getting my own course here in which I am teaching. So let's say this is the course, and all the students will appear, and I can give a subject. So let's say there's a class project that happened today, and I'm marking this as a class teacher, and I can give comment to this or a remark to this student. So I can give this remark, and this remark will be appearing in the profile of that student. So if I log in as that student, so I'll go to my profile, and under more I'll have remarks, and I'll be able to see the remarks that are given to me by whom and the topic and what is the remark and the date as well. So this is the way we can remark a student on a particular activity that is happening for a day. Then we have a news module in Fedena where anyone can comment. So I can create a news by clicking on add. So I can also notify like this. So this is sort of a bulletin board that we have, and anyone can comment on it. So if I've logged in as a teacher or a parent or a student, I can leave a comment here like this. Now before looking at the reports, let's see the finance module in Fedena. So finance is where we can create the fees. So we'll go to this option of creating fees. And first thing is we have to create a fee category. So we need to denote what is the name of the fees. So let's say it is fees for this batch, which is C3, A 2015-16. So I can give appropriately. I can also make this for one or more batches together like this. But you have to do this only when the particulars in this fee is same, which means all the students of this batch and this batch are going to pay the same amount. In that case, you can check more than one batches. Otherwise, you can check only the batch for which you are creating the fee. Then I can create a particular. So I'll select that batch, click on it, and click on create particular. So I can create a particular like tuition fee and what is the amount. So this amount of tuition fee has to be paid by all the students of this course. I can also make it particular to admission numbers. So I can mention the admission number followed by comma, or I can also make it particular to a category. So right now I am making it same for all the students, and later on I'll give discount to some of the students. So like this I am creating one more, let's say registration fee, which is 600. So like this I have to create the particulars. After creating particular, we can create discounts. Now discount can be for the full batch, for a category of students, or for a student. So by the admission number. So on what fee category do we want to give? That can be selected. For what student category? That can be selected. And what is the amount or percentage? So percentage of the full fee or amount from the full fee. And I can give it a name. After creating the discount, the next setting that we have to do is fine generation. So I can give a fine name like penalty after due date. So this is required when the student is not paying on time and you want to collect fine besides the over and above the normal fee. So days after due date, let's say 1 day, I want to collect 100 extra over and above the actual fee of the student, and it's an amount. I can add one more fine slab. So 2 days, 100 as the fine amount. So after we've created the fee, we have to schedule the same. So we need to give the start date, end date and the due date. So we'll be selecting the category. We'll give it a name. Let's say it is the academic year collection for this batch. Fine category if we want to apply any fine. Start date, end date and due date. Now end date and due date can be same or different depending on if you want to give some gap, because after due date the fine will be applicable. So you can mention that gap here by selecting the date. And after this category, we have scheduled the fee collection now. We can also view the fee collection by going to view for a particular batch. So like for this batch, I'll be able to see what is the fee collection, what is the start date, end date and due date. Now I can collect the fees. Collection can be done by course. So I'll be able to select the batch, all the students will appear and I'll be able to collect the fees. Otherwise, I can search the student. So let's see these ways. The first way is we'll be selecting the batch like this and the student will appear like this. I can scroll to the students by clicking on this arrow here. So here the particulars appear. Since this student is a staff child and I created discount on this category, so it shows discount as well in the receipt. So payment modes are available which will appear in the receipt. I can give the payment notes like this. I can select the payment date, previous date, today or future date. And I can pay the fees and print the receipt. And this is how the receipt will look like. It has the logo, address and all these details. So it shows the payment notes here as well. So since only payment notes field is editable, you can mention the data that you want to see in the receipt in payment note. So after collection of fee, we can also view the fee structure for a particular student. So like this. We can get a PDF report of this. While collecting the fee, let me tell you about one more way, which is by the name of the student. So I can search the student like this and the fee collection for that student will appear. So let me do it for the same student for which I've collected. So here I'll be able to select the fee collection and it will appear like this. So this is another way of doing it. Since I've already paid, so it shows as fees paid. You can also revert this transaction. In case you've done this by mistake, you'll be able to click on this and revert it. So again the amount gets back. This option of reverting is only available to an employee who has revert transaction privilege and not to all the employees. So you have to give him that privilege and only that employee will be able to revert transactions. The third option is where I can search the student, click on the name, select the fee collection and I can do particular wise payment. For example, I want to pay tuition fee in installments. So I'll be mentioning that amount here. Out of 800, I want to apply discount on it because I have 100 discount available. So I want to only give 700. Sorry, here this is the discount amount, so 100, and discount name. And registration fee I can pay partially, 300. So such kind of payment can also be made. So I have partially paid. The amount left to pay is 300, which I can again pay. So you can see one of the particular is paid, another particular I can pay again, let's say half of it, and then I can pay rest of the amount as well. So I have done this payment in 3 installments. So I can see like this, and when I get the print receipt of it, I'll be able to see the same in the history like this. So these are the 3 ways in which we can collect the fees. Then we have the fee defaulters. So the students who have not paid on time, the due date is crossed and still they have not paid, the list will be coming here. And if they are coming and instantly paying, we can click on pay fee and we can add the fine amount here as well manually. Otherwise, if we have applied fine, it will appear here, that amount automatically. And I can pay the fee. Then if we want to return a part of fees that is already submitted or collected, we can create a refund rule. So this is when we want to refund. So I can give a refund name. So let's say it is security deposit refund, or student is leaving, any kind of refund, appropriate name can be given. Just a moment, screen is loading, just give me a moment. Yeah, so as I was saying, here we can give the name of the refund appropriately and we can select the date from which this refund will be applicable. So after this date, I can issue refund to the students. And then I can mention the percentage of the amount of the refund. And after creating this refund rule, I can apply this refund to a student who has already paid the fees. So you can see here the refund appears as per what I created. And again I can give some description and refund the same to the student. Reward option will be coming for the employee who has reward transaction privilege. I can view the refunds for a particular duration like this. So who has refunded and on what date and what was the amount. There is student fees headwise report, which we can see. For it shows the students, what is the fee collection applicable to them, how much amount they are left to pay and how much amount they have paid. So if somebody has done a partial payment, it will also appear here. I can also filter it for a particular course. For example, for this course, I'll be able to see like this. So these are the students belonging to the course that I have selected above. You can see the partial payment as well here. So this is available batch wise. You can also see it fee collection wise, or you can search a student and see how much partial payment he has done or what is the full payment amount. So this is about fees that we have done. Now let's see the finance part of this. So managing the finance budget. If you see the finance reports here for a particular duration, so I'll be able to select the duration. I'll be able to get a report like this. So you can see it shows the particulars and the expenses and the income. So what this means is whenever I issue a salary to an employee, whenever the salary is approved, it will get added as an expense here automatically. Whenever I collect fees, it will get added here as an income automatically. The refund amount is also getting added here. So this is the financial budget of the institute, which is taken care automatically whenever you make a transaction in Fedena. Now besides these particulars, if you want to create your own category, you can create it by going to category link here. So under finance, you have category, and all these are already tracked in Fedena. For example, I want to create a category called stationery charges. I'll click on create finance category here, and it will ask me the name of the category and whether it is an income or an expense. So this is an income to me right now. So I'll go to transaction and make a transaction as an income under that category. So all the categories are appearing, and this is the one that I created. I can mention some description here and mention what is the amount and the date as well. So now you will see that this transaction which I have done under my custom category, it will also be appearing along with the other particulars. For the other particulars also, if I want to see the details, I'll click on this fees account, click once again, and you'll be able to see the details like this. So this student, he has done 3 transactions, he has paid in installments, so it will show like this. Similarly, I can see for salary as well. So all the departments will appear, and for a particular department, I'll be able to see for which employee have I approved the salary. Then there is this automatic transaction where if I want to deduct an amount of income that I am getting in the institute, it can be mentioned here. For example, I'll click on add new here and I'll select the income category. So it means that whenever I get a donation, donation is by default, and the last 3 that you see are custom created because I have created them as incomes, so they are appearing. Now whenever I create a donation, 5% of it will be cut as donation tax, and 95% of it will be reflected in the finance reports. So this is what will be shown in the automatic transaction. So now if I am doing a donation by clicking on this donations link, I can give the donor name here and what is the amount. And when I see the finance report now, 95 is shown as a donation and not 100. And when I click on it, I'll be able to see more details. The reason is because automatic transaction has happened over donation. That is why 100 was the income, but 5 is an expense, and I get 95 as the final income. Payslip is approval payslip that we've already seen. Let's see asset liability management, where we can create the assets of the institute. For example, I want to keep a record of furniture. So what is the amount that I've spent on it, whether the asset is active or not. So I'll list all the assets here, and I can also get a PDF report of them. Similarly, I can do it for liabilities as well. So this is about the finance module that we have. Now we also have reports. So we can see the total courses. On clicking on them, we'll be able to see the details like this. We can see the batches. Total students. Total employees. Further details we can see from these links. So a course has how many batches, students, male and female students. We can see the former student details for a particular duration. So which of students have left the institute can be seen from here. Similarly for the employees, we can see the subject details. So for a particular course, how many electives I have or how many normal subjects I have, maximum weekly classes and so on. We can see the employee subject association details here. So the employee, what is the department that he belongs to, what subjects has he taken and in what batch. We can see exam schedule details. So exam name, exam type, the subjects, maximum, minimum marks and start and end time of it. Employee payroll details. So for each employee, what are the figures against the payroll categories. All these can be exported to CSV. You can see the fee collection details as well. What is the fee collection, start and end date of it and the due date. Fee defaulter details. So all the batches will appear. And further I can see the collections and students. So here, this is another way in which we can see fee defaulters for the courses. For all the school, we can see from here. So these are the students, irrespective of the batch, they have not paid the fees and this is the balance. So these are the reports. The last module that we are going to see is user. So here we can add a new admin. So Fedena can have one or more admins. So I can add a new admin by clicking on add new. I'll give the username to this admin. I'll give the first name, the last name, and a password using which we can log in, and the email. So now I have the same admin. I have a new admin, and when he logs in, he's going to get the same data as per the first admin. So both the admins will have the same privileges and they can do the changes in Fedena, which will be reflected for both of them. Now here we can also have an option where we can change the passwords of the user. So I'll be searching that student or the employee or the parent, anyone, any user, I'll be searching that. So let's say I have user 5. So I can view the profile or change the password of the student. Similarly, I can do for the employee as well. For employee, I get an extra option where I can even edit the privilege. So here I can give him any other privilege or take a privilege away from him. So this is fully about the core modules of Fedena that we've done today.